Good morning. So, sticking with yesterday's theme of monkey flowers, you know, go monkey flowers. So, I don't know if any of you know this, but in the Chinese calendar, 2016 is the year of the monkey, and still is for about 2 weeks. So today, I'm going to tell you about that 2016 was the year of a botanical monkey, another botanical monkey, Erythranthe carcinensis. So, quickly, a little history of the species. It was first collected in 1865 in Carson City, and a few years later, in 1868, SERENO Watson collected it again during Clarence King's expedition to survey the 40th parallel, and he was the first one to describe it as a variety of Mimulus rubellus. In 1888, or 1886, Asa Gray grouped this with other yellow monkey flowers from the Sierra Nevada, and using the name Mimulus montioides, and there it stayed for 123 years. As part of a wide-ranging species, it was not given much attention from the botanical community until 2009, when Naomi Fraga came to visit Carson City, and she noticed that these plants were very different from the plants that she had seen in the Sierras. So in 2012, she described Erythranthe carcinensis as separate from the rest of the montioides and named it after the largest valley in which it's found. At the time, it hadn't received much attention. It had no legal status or conservation efforts. When SERENO Watson described the species in his report on the plants he found, he described it as a pretty dwarf with absurdly disproportionate flowers, which is certainly true of some plants. It's a tiny plant. Its size is usually dependent on available soil moisture. Its roots are only a couple inches long, so it's really dependent on winter and spring moisture. It blooms for usually 2 to 3 weeks, but the timing can vary depending on the temperatures in the spring. It has a large flower with distinctive markings and a seismonastic stigma, which makes us think there's probably a large pollinator like a bee or a fly. We've never observed any on the flowers. They're pretty early, and a lot of pollinators are not out flying around at the time. So it's found in just 3 valleys, east of the Carson Range and south of Reno. They're Washoe, Eagle, and Carson Valleys. They're found on flats and gentle slopes on all aspects in a fairly narrow elevation band. The vegetation is primarily a mix of sagebrush and rabbitbrush, though sometimes it also occurs with desert peach. And it's interesting, the blooming period for carcinensis is approximately the same as the blooming period for desert peach, which is a really easy visual indicator that it's time to start surveying. Soil seems to be the most important factor for this species distribution. We like to describe it as dirty sand. Not too much dirt, not too much sand. On the west side of the valleys, it's typically alluvial deposits, and on the east side, it's aeolian sand deposits. And it's all derived from decomposing Sierra granite. You might think finding little yellow flowers in sagebrush would be easy, but there's about half a dozen other small yellow flowers that bloom in the same habitat at the same time. So we have a couple of other monkey flower species. There's a lomatium, there's Camisonia, viola, and mentzelia, but there are 2 carcinensis flowers hiding in here, right there and right there. So they can be a little tricky to find sometimes. So as of 2015, we only had 12 sites, about half divided between public and private ownership. Now in Nevada, a lot of our rare plants are way out in the desert, in the mountains, but this plant is all really close to urban and residential development. Sometimes it grows right up to the back fence of a neighborhood or right up to the parking lot of a shopping center. So So 3 of the sites, the historic sites, were thought to be extirpated, and 2 sites on public ownership had been identified for disposal by the BLM. They're little patchy parcels in the middle of South Carson City that will probably be sold off. There's no formal protections for the species, and the biggest problem we had is that the sustained drought really made these hard to find. We went out and searched and we found 2 plants. So what made 2016 a super bloom? It rained. It rained a lot last winter. It was really warm in March, and that kind of worried us because we thought that it was going to get really hot and all the flowers would shrivel up and we would only have a couple of weeks. So we issued a press release through our department's public relations office, and the local news outlets thought this was a great story. They thought this was a cute little flower with a funny name, and then they picked it up. Even one of the local TV stations came out and interviewed me and took some pictures of cute little yellow monkey flowers. So all during April, we had volunteers from the Native Plant Society. We had local residents sending in reports of, I saw this in my driveway, this is south of town, this is in my neighborhood. So this gave us a lot of places to go check out, which is great because there's only 2 of us and there was like 30,000 acres of potential habitat to cover. So this helped us find several new large populations and quite a few smaller patches. So here is the pre-2016 observations. The map on the left is our northern section, and the map on the right is to the south. You can see there's a little tiny dot up here, quite a few down here south of Carson City, and one right down here on the California state line. So our observations from 2016 added all of these yellow patches. So public reports led us to these patches up here by Washoe Valley, all this stuff in northern Carson City, down around Hot Spring Mountain, and then all of this yellow south of Gardnerville extending way into California. So all of that was due to public reports of people said, hey, I was out walking my dog and I saw a cute yellow flower. So our results for 2016, we found 6 new large populations and just dozens and dozens of small patches. So now our mapped area is about 5 times as large as it was previously. And many of the new populations are farther away from development and less likely to get bulldozed and paved over in the near future. This new populations are going to decrease the global rank from G1 to G2, which means it will be slightly less imperiled. And remember that those extirpated sites, at one of them, right in the middle of Carson City, on an empty lot, I found 11 plants still hanging on there. So we did manage to relocate one extirpated population, even though it's pretty small, but that does show these plants can hang on if in the right soil in a fairly small patch. So this is a sample from my library of roughly 26,000 monkeyflower photos that I have. I've been using a photo surveying technique. And there's quite a variation in corolla size and shape and the shape of the red spot on the lower limb. And a lot of the flower size variation is also due to plant size variation. Small plants have smaller, less divided petals, and the larger plants tend to have larger and more deeply divided lobes on the petals. So I'd like to thank my boss, Jim Moorfield. Many of you know him. That's him sitting in the monkey flowers, taking pictures. Also my husband, Reese, who spent quite a few days walking around the desert with me, and the flower hounds, Merlin and Cinder. And I would like to thank the Fish and Wildlife Service for funding us, and Naomi for all of her expertise, and all of our local volunteers and people who sent us monkeyflower sightings. It was very helpful. And that's all.